What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about shadowboxing as a form of cardio training and why I believe that it's really underutilized. So I guess it can be a little bit goofy and cringe and you can feel weird doing it, and it also can come across as a little bit low class when you're shadowboxing in public and people think you're showing off, and I guess that's the reason a lot of people avoid it. But it's actually, in terms of benefits, really underrated, and I want to make the case for it today and also talk about some of the implications in terms of longevity training and athletic development. So a little bit about my background. I used to do some boxing, kickboxing in my teens, a couple of years, nothing too serious, but I learned the basic steps, I learned the basic punches, never showed much promise. I think I was much more talented at grappling than striking, but I learned how to do the basic moves. And then last year I started incorporating some solo boxing training again, just like as a form of general physical preparation. And specifically this year I try whenever I can to sneak in a cardio session, like a shadowboxing session for my cardio training. And this is a session I did on Tuesday this week, and I did 20 rounds of 3 minutes with 1 minute of active rest. So if you do the math, that's 60 minutes of shadowboxing and 20 minutes of active rest. So 1 hour and 20 minutes continuous movement. So active rest, I'm usually just bouncing around, skipping around, maybe doing some rotations, some like mobility drills, if you will. So it's really continuous movement. So it's really a continuous long effort, like a zone 1 or zone 2 run. So boxers have in general pretty high VO2 max, so it is effective as a form of cardio training, obviously, because you're just doing more or less cyclical movement for longer periods of time. So you're going to get the benefit of increasing your stroke volume, like the amount of blood your heart can pump. So that's kind of obvious. But you get also some other really cool benefits compared to purely monostructural cardio like running, because the movement variability is much higher. So for one, you get a little bit of a low intensity plyometric workout, because it's called extensive plyometrics, right? When you're not working at full intensity, like not jumping at full intensity, but kind of just bouncing around, and you're still building the resilience and elasticity in your tissues. You also get a lot of benefits in terms of coordination. So obviously you're improving your agility, you're improving your footwork, you're improving also your hand-eye coordination. That's something I noticed, like when I shadowbox a lot and something drops, like I will just catch it without thinking. And you're improving total body coordination, all those like kinetic chains, and you also do that like in a way that's different from almost everything you do at the gym, because you're like training those rotational patterns and also shoulder rotation. Like if you do a shadowboxing workout, I guarantee you the next day not only are your lats going to be sore, but you're also going to feel it here in the back of your shoulders. Your rotator cuffs are going to be sore from just decelerating the internal rotation on each punch. And that's something that's interesting to me, is like obviously when we run, we build a lot of mitochondria in our lower body, like mainly in the legs, right? And the upper body isn't involved as much. Obviously when we row or do the ski arc, that's different. But in shadowboxing, like that's just my hypothesis, we also should see much more mitochondrial development in the shoulders and triceps and pecs. And that's something that's another really interesting plus. So last but not least, you're also developing a useful skill, because well, you learn how to fight. Like boxers will tell you that you will get better at boxing through shadowboxing. Like I said, I used to do the sparring. I know what it's like to get hit in the head, and it's not something I'm willing to do at this point in my life. And obviously I'm not saying that only shadowboxing will get you ready to fight. Not at all. Go to a boxing gym if you want to really fight, or go to an MMA gym or whatever. And also, if your main goal is self-defense, you also need to do some sparring. All I'm saying is you're going to be better off doing solo training than no training at all, right? Obviously, I don't go around looking for fights, but I know my ability to defend myself is better compared to the version of me that's not doing any training. So you also learn that really basic life skill of knowing how to handle yourself in a fight to some extent. Okay, now that I hopefully made the case for shadowboxing, let's talk about the application real quick. So basically what I'm doing, like, you can get super creative with it. What I've been doing is mostly just 10 rounds, 3 minutes on, 1 minute active rest. So that's a 40-minute workout. And here I did like double that volume for the first time. But like my main workout is just 10 rounds. And also I believe it's like a lot of people train those rotational patterns like in the gym, like they made some cable rotations, or like maybe even on some low-level pliers, and all of that stuff is great. They may swing around the mace or something, but why not just do some boxing training and get all those like kind of adaptations in a more playful way, like in a more fun way, like develop some more complex movement patterns. In terms of divider applications, why I'm trying to do more things like that is, as I'm always saying, like your base is everything. Like you need your like fast switch muscle fibers, fast switch molar units, your like bone density, you need to like load your skeleton, and you need your aerobic capacity. So like that's always what I call the base. So like if you want to know my approach on how to build it, check out my hybrid starter pack program. It goes into everything you need to know. But the base is called the base because we want to build on top of that, right? And specifically as I'm getting older, I see a lot of my peers in age, like maybe weekend warriors, like regular Joes, maybe other coaches, maybe athletes I've been following for years, and I see them turn 30, 35, 40, and I see them kind of calcify into statues. And they may still have the strength, like a lot of them even get bigger because they get on TRT and whatnot, but you can really see the movement quality declining, like the elasticity is declining. They're starting to move like the way you try to run when you're in a dream, right? And everything is in slow motion, and the range of motions in all the different ranges gets really bad. And a lot of people are really, unfortunately, negative examples to me. And obviously father time can't be beat, so like to some extent we have to accept that. But the people that age better in terms of movement quality are the people that do more actual athletic movement, right? And not just linear like gym or cardio work. And that's great for building the underlying qualities. I will never like stray from that. But you also need to do other stuff that takes you out of those conventional ranges. And shadowboxing is, to me, just one way to do that. Like I can build all those qualities that I talked about earlier and hopefully maintain a lot more of that youthful spring in my step, right? And I'm going to be talking a lot more about that in the future, because that's something I'm going to shift my training more and more towards, because I'm turning 35 this year and I don't want to end up like a lot of the people I see. But just boxing is one of the most fantastic ways, in my opinion, to work a lot of that stuff. And obviously another thing we can talk about is getting into the heavy bag where you get actual like rotational powerful movement against resistance. But that's going to be for another video. So that's it for today's video. I hope you found it interesting. I hope it gave you some ideas. And I'm going to be Shadowboxmaxing going forward, and I'm going to keep you guys updated on my progress, and I'm going to also start incorporating a lot more of that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for that, and see you guys next time.